Yes, sir. It's Westside Wednesdays, homie. The G-Lew Show. West Coast hip hop to the tip top. Top shelf shit, homie. OG Lou, Westside Wednesdays, OG music. Yeah. It's Westside Wednesdays, the G-Lew Show. That's a fact, we've been doing this for 4 years straight, back to back. Got rid of my old caddy and got a new lack. Threw away my old flows when it got a new rap. I was raised in California, but I seen the whole map. Been around the whole world, can't wait to get back. Give a shout out to the West Side, homies straight moving. From Florence to La Brea, to Pico and Union. From Whittier to Watts, South Los to the beach. To Harlem, California, holla at my Uncle Tweed. Indeed, yeah, we proceed to keep it gangster. No skinny jeans, no Lees, no Wranglers. We only rock Levi's, just like T-Fly. Shout out to the Bay, E40 SPI. CE, I'm the number one G. LEW, so you don't want no trouble, fools. As we take you on this West Side ride, every Wednesday from 7 to 9, we on time. So holla at the homie if you need that fix. The G-Lew Show, we all in the mix like this. Yes, sir. It's Westside Wednesdays, homie. On the G-Lew Show, Blog Talk Radio, the number one West Coast station across the nation. Brick City Productions, OG Music, G-Lew. Yes, sir. And we rolling like that. What up, Flossie? 914-803-4001. Holla at me, homie. Yeah.
Yo, what up, YouTube? This your boy Another Zah back at you, y'all saw this. And shouts out to the G-Lew Show, you know what I mean, for actually having me on there yesterday to explain myself and basically, try to reach, these outer limits, the ones as far as like outer limits, as far as the people that may not really want to connect with each other, you know what I mean, and just really trying to bridge certain gaps. Go ahead and check them out, the G-Lew Show. I missed it yesterday, but go ahead and check him out. That dude's doing good things on his podcast.
Hey, welcome to the G-Lew Show, Westside Wednesdays, man. 4/10/2019. Before we continue on with the show, and before we start the show, I want to say rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. His funeral service is tomorrow. If you can make it, be out there. The tickets are sold out, but it'll be streaming live on BET. So I want to send respects to him and his family. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle from the G-Lew Show. And that's about it. Now, welcome everybody to the G-Lew Show, Westside Wednesdays. Again, tonight we have a special, and when I say special, I mean we have a special guest, the lovely Mrs. Berenice Molina, creator of From the Streets to the Set. You can call her Boss Lady though, Queen Bee, whatever, you know what I mean, it's all good. But she's going to be in the building tonight. Matter of fact, right now she's at the front door. I'm going to go get her and bring her in, so everybody tune in if you're not already. Call in 914-803-4001. Press 1 if you want to speak, or you can listen live online at blogtalkradio.com/The G-Lew Show. I'll be right back. This is a new banger from my homeboy King Nico right here, representing Los. And we'll be right back with Miss Berenice Molina. Westside Wednesdays, The G-Lew Show.
New York, Illinois, Colorado, Nevada, it really don't matter, actually. Every state out here I represent those. Hoodie with my city on my bed, Joe. You ain't gotta wonder where the boy from. Every state out here, every state out here, every state out here I represent those. Every state out here I represent those. Every state out here I represent those. Got life, baby. Every state out here, every state out here, every spot here. About to see me and they know what's up. Spend time from Killer, California, where we throw it up. Highness on my bumper, asking where the gas got roll it up. Who does always fail, cause I keep the drugs and burners tucked. Tell her homie dead, so I'm flexing for fuck we at. You know he represent. K-Life.
Hey, so I went to the strip club, right? And I told this girl, I'm like, hey, you're a fucking nigga when you first time you meet him? She's like, nah. I'm like, alright, I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, shout out to K-Life, my homeboy King Nico. You check that new video out right now. It's on YouTube. Go to King Nico's page and check that out. Get them views up for the homie, man. But anyways, it's the G-Lew Show Westside Wednesdays, April 10, 2019. And like I told you, we got a special guest, Miss Berenice Molina. Miss B, what's up, baby? How you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you, G-Lew. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm here, so I'm blessed. I want to thank you before we start the show. I want to thank you for coming on to the show and sharing your story and everything we're about to do tonight. I just want to thank you from the G-Lew Show for coming on. We really appreciate it, and you know, just I think it's gonna be a good look. I know you're a little nervous, but just kick back and it's gonna be all good, you know.
Thank you very much. I just want to take this time to thank the G-Lew Show for having me on here tonight and just being able to share this, you know. And you're right, I am a little nervous. First time doing this, but I'm ready. So.
That's right. God got it. It's in God's hands right now. And you know, you're a speaker. You deal with, you know, a lot of people. So I know this will be a breeze. You know, it'll be a breeze. Yeah. Hey, but before we start off, why don't you give a proper introduction to the audience? Let them know who you are, and you know, just a little bit of background about you and everything about what you do now, and you know what the show will be about.
Okay, well, my name is Berenice Molina, and I am a half Mexican, half Salvadorian Chicana female, straight from LA, born and raised, and the quick intro from, you know, the streets to the set. My business says it all. You know, just going from the lifestyle to certain troubles and tribulations growing up and as a teenager and as an adult. And today I'm founder and owner of From the Streets to the Set, a.k.a. URA Casting. And I'm also a youth advocate at all three juvenile halls here in LA. And what else? I do it all, G-Lew. And
yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot that you said. You know, I want to get into all of that, and I want to ask you, you know, about what do you do first, like just dealing with the juveniles and everything. I know that's a tough job and touching and personal, you know what I mean, to deal with the kids and the youth. And I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about, you know, how you started the From the Streets to the Set production company and what it all entails and all that. But before we do that, you know, let's go back, like you said, and, you know, we want to talk about your story. So tell us a little bit about, you know, yourself. And, you know, I know you had some hardships and you came up, you know, in L.A. alone. It's hard for a black or brown, you know, coming from the inner cities and everything. So if you want, or whatever you want to share, tell us a little bit about, you know, your background and things and, you know, coming up. And I'm sure it was a lot, you know, and what led you to do what you do now.
Man, you know what? I've been thinking about, like, how I would even start this all day, because it is the first time I get real intimate and deep with my story,
it's okay.
Especially
it's
publicly.
Okay. Go deep as you want. It's okay.
So, like I said, half Mexican, half Salvi. Mom a Mexican woman, dad Salvadorian, both immigrants, established in LA. 1986, I was born, so I just told everybody my age. You know, growing up in LA and just being the only sister with nothing but brothers, you know, growing up was challenging. And at the same time, it was something that was real confusing in my household, just because, you know, that double standard, right? Like, boys could do this, but a girl can't. And I think a lot of my decisions that came with the destructive lifestyle had to do a lot with that, having older brothers already exposed, just exposed like to the life and just like exposing me to different things in itself was something that a child, quote unquote, normally doesn't grow up in, so therefore this dysfunctional home where mom walked a straight line, right? So like respect, morals, don't steal, don't do this, don't do that. And then you had the flip side of pops, right? Like wanting to have everything and anything for us, but there was some crooked moves along the way, and that's just how I was raised in my household. And I would like to say that we had like good childhood memories and stuff, and for the most part they were, but there was a lot of just lies and secrets and stuff, but nevertheless we did the best that we could out of it. And just parents split up when I was 6 years old. Having to have a divided family was challenging as well. And I believe, that's really where the attraction to the unhealthy relationships came, having the males in the home pretty much being the role models. And, the role model was pretty much not a very set good one. So, you adapt to what you're exposed to. And, at the age of 13, I started hanging out with a different crowd and, in the neighborhood and stuff. And the ironic thing of all this is that I started hanging out and associating with people that were pretty much on the other end of my family, and that was a retaliation move on my end to prove that if the guys could do it, so can I, So that's really where the destruction started. And Jesus, there's so much like into that.
Yeah. Right. I want to ask you this. How was it? You mentioned that you were half Mexican and half Salvadorian. How was that growing up, and how did that affect you, or what were the differences between both sides of your family coming up?
You know what? It's interesting because even though we're all under the same umbrella of being, however you want to identify, Latino, Hispanic, Chicano, however it is, you still had that population that took offense if you confused them with being Salvadorian and they were really Mexican, or
that's why I asked you, because I know about that. Right. That's why I asked you, because I'm aware of that. Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting, because I would hear comments of people say things about the Salvadorians, and I don't think they knew that I was half Salvadorian, because I was raised with my mother, so I don't have the Salvadorian accent or a lot of the lingo. So when they would make comments, I'd be like, hold up, like, you're insulting my other half, So I always took pride of my roots, but I always felt like I had to kind of fight and say I identify with both, and I had to fight and take pride for both.
Right. Let me ask you this. Can you explain to the audience, like you just said, Salvadorian and Mexican is really, like you said, the same umbrella, but can you break down the difference? And like you just spoke on lingo and all of that, because it's still Spanish, but can you break down the difference in between the two?
The Mexican,
that don't know.
Yeah, the Mexican side, with the language, and we're pretty much here south of the border and stuff, and the food and just the way we address things in the culture. And then, you have the Salvadorian side is more Central American, and, also the language and the food. So just in itself with the language, was sometimes conflicting, because I would speak to my Salvadorian side of the family, and it was like, I would say something like chamaco, like, which means kid, and they'd be like bicho, and I'd be like, wait, what's that? And it's also, a kid, but just in the Salvadorian lingo. But if you get the word bicho and translate it to Mexican, that's a bug, so therefore, right. It was always like I had to adapt to whatever family I was visiting and adapt to the language. So it was like I had to learn two things at the same time, but nevertheless, I honestly, besides those obvious things that we are taught, and what we're exposed to, really there's no difference. We all bleed the same. We all speak the language, and we all have the same struggles, you know.
Right. That's always been my, problem, even with, like, well, it wasn't always like that, because I come up, like I told the homie Nico, like, come up around a lot of Latinos. All of my homeboys, when I was younger, were that. So, but the thing is, like, even with, like you said, even Salvadorians or Mexicans or black or brown, it's like the divide is crazy, because, like you said, at the end of the day, we're all really the same. You know what I mean? Because we come from inner city, we got the same struggles, same everything. You know what I mean? But I guess it's just pride, or sometimes that, I don't know, that keeps that in the way. But I just never understood that myself.
Yeah, most definitely. And of course, you have the usual stereotypes even within our own cultures, like they perceive the Salvadorians are loud and disrespectful, and they're vulgar, and then they have like the assumption of like the Mexicans, right? Like, oh, we're all party and wild, and like it's just destructive. But it's really it's really just everyone's perception of things. Not every Salvadorian is loud and rude, and not every Mexican is wild, So
right. Stereotypes, like you said, that's what it is. Also, like moving forward, you said when you were a teenager, that's when the kind of transformation came. So take us through your teenage years and what that was like, and now I'm sure being associated with gangs and things of that nature, and then on top of that, being, like you said, on the opposing side of your family, and then not only that, but you being a part of a gang, and then how did your brothers feel about it?
Okay, so being in the gang lifestyle and starting at 13, the destructiveness of it. To be honest with you, now that I look back, now that I'm an adult and I have accountability of what took me there and what drove me there, was not only the pride of like proving my own family that I'm able to do the same things as my older brothers, but also I've learned that was my avenue to feel accepted and validated by other individuals, not only my family. Because sometimes when you hear your family say like, man, like, you're strong and you got this and you a G, and sometimes it doesn't mean anything because it comes from family, right? So you just think that they're saying that to accommodate whatever it is that they want you to believe. But when you seek validation from the outside realm and you find the same group of people that are going even through the same struggles and stuff like that as you feel like you belong, So therefore, you gravitate to that, right? Because who doesn't want to be validated? Who doesn't want to be loved? So therefore, you seek that in these groups, and that's what I did. And me seeking that was more of not only seeking validation from my own brothers, but also filling a void. At that age as well, I started, seeing my older brothers getting locked up, and going to camp and going to placement. And then I had little brothers who were just too little to understand certain things, so therefore I couldn't reach to them because I just couldn't. They were younger, and then the older ones were, being taken away, and then that not being in the home, I leaned into unhealthy relationships, and that's pretty much, when you're a teenager, you're struggling with identity, like figuring out who you are, who you're meant to be. So when all these struggles are being placed, and then the feeling that comes with it of feeling lost, you go and like I said, you gravitate to a certain group or a certain sport or certain whatever, a team to make you feel like you belong. And I chose to belong to a group that at the time made me feel like I belonged, and that's all I cared for. I didn't care what my family had to say. I didn't care the opinion of anybody else, because at that point I already felt that I was already pushed to the side, like by brothers being incarcerated, dad starting a new family and stuff like that. I still felt like, well, you know what does it matter who I join or what I join? At the end of the day, I'm still going to do what I got to do, and they're going to do what they're going to do. So, so that was, that was really the mentality I had. And if there was one person that gave me shit about it, was my mother, because any mom wants the best for her children. And me being her only daughter, her expectations were higher, than that. But we outnumbered mom, so therefore we did what we did despite her pleads and her cries and her begging, so that's where it all began and unfolded, and I just started self-destructing, and that led me to the next journey in my teenage years, which was becoming a mother at 15. So that became a new journey for me, and and I would want to say that I stopped the destructive ways by having a child, but I'd be lying to you if I said that, because that didn't stop me, and it just continued. And teenage years were a gamble all around, identity, being a mother, my first heartbreak, then becoming a single mother at that, and then becoming a single mother of a premature baby, because I had a preemie baby. I had my son when I was 6 months pregnant, so not knowing if I was going to even have a child to raise was difficult in itself, and this is all through a teenager's mind. So therefore, the way I coped with things was destructive and was just isolating, and really just depending on my family to help me raise this child, and that's the truth, especially my mother and my godmother. And I was blessed that I did have them, for that.
Right. Wow, that's a lot. I want to ask you, you said your teenage years, of course, for everyone is hard. That's when we're trying, like you said, to find ourselves, and we're led in a lot of different ways, you know what I mean? A lot of times in negative ways, but we want to be accepted, and, that's the life of a teenager. We don't realize it till we get older and an adult, the things that we did, a lot of things we didn't have to do, but we just wanted to be accepted. So I'm sure that's a lot of people's same story. You spoke on that, you became a mother at 15, so I'm sure that changed some things, but didn't change everything. But what would you say was really the turning point, in your teenage years or wherever, when it was just maybe you went through a lot. I'm sure you experienced a lot of things, seen a lot of things, and witnessed a lot of things, just being in the gang life. But what would you say was a real turning point that made you, kind of, change up what you were doing and try to do something different?
You know what? As crazy and as sad as this sounds, speaking it out loud, having my first child didn't stop anything. It didn't make me say, hey, you know what, like, you're screwing up. Now you have another, life to take care of. And that
you were only 15,
because,
though. I know that's hard at
right.
15.
Right. And so juggling being a teenager, and then not only a teenager, but a teenager in that life, having to still continue to prove yourself. A child, at least in my eyes, wasn't an excuse to stop doing what I was doing because I had a reputation to uphold. And therefore, how it became a certain way is I started exposing my child to this life since he was a baby, pushing him through the boulevard, through the streets I ran and everything in the stroller, and not really caring of the repercussions. And even though I always told myself, right, like, you're playing it smart, you know what you're doing, you're keeping an eye out, you're, at the same time, you're not really keeping another life safe by exposing that, So my turning point didn't come till years later, and the proof is, that my son really got close to my mother. That became mom, and even though I was physically there, I wasn't emotionally or spiritually there, and honestly, for me to admit this, like, publicly, and take accountability, it took a lot of self-work to be able to accept that and say, you know what, I wasn't that mom, and I wasn't that attentive person, and I've always kept things 100, so so to me it was like my priorities were all messed up at that point, and having mom and godmother depend on, to have raised my child, that made it easier for me, because it was like, well, at least he's safe, he's not on the streets, he's not in the system, he's not, and all, they got him, they're good. So it gave me space to do my own thing, and I was grateful to these two women, and I to this day I'm grateful. But at the same time, it did my child good, but then it did myself some harm, because I wasn't given the responsibility of a mother. It was like, okay, you're still a kid, I got this, but you could stay in my house as long as you finish school, as long as you don't bring another baby by the time you're 18, and this and that, and that was easy for me, So the growing up didn't have to take place at 15, and I was still responsible enough to bring, the dough in, and thinking that by my son having food on the table and a roof over his head and brand name clothes on his back and brand name shoes, I was doing a motherly duty, and that's really not the case, So so my turning point came way after.
Wow. Wow. And we didn't speak, but how did your family, you spoke about earlier, going on the opposite side of your family's wishes or whatever, but how did they feel, and how did your brothers, being that you had all brothers, how was that juggling the two?
You know what? Despite the dysfunction that we had growing up, the one thing that mom always taught us was that whether good or bad, you guys got each other, So you guys, despite your differences, despite what opinions you may have or arguments or disagreements, you belong to this family, and this is the one you look after. And she would always say, in Spanish, solo la familia solo hay una, so like you guys have to look out for each other. And she would always tell my little brother and me that, because we were the ones always in the home. The other ones were, absent, doing their thing or whatever, always away. But she always projected that unity and that family with one another. And then when my brothers started coming home from prison or placement or any of that, the same things were in place, like, you know, take care of your sister, maybe take care of your brother, or, you know, so despite of what neighborhood each of us belonged to, my mom didn't play that shit at home, you know, so she was like, here, you're all my children, and you all get along, and you know, and even we've had disagreements, you know, and we've been at each other's throat, and Mom always played ref, you know, and she was like, man, you better knock that shit out, you know, I'm not having that in my home. So so with time, we just learned that we couldn't do that, like, you know, like we were a family, we're still a family, and we had to be united. So when it came to the neighborhood and stuff like that, we learned to put our differences aside and not mix the two. So so with that, like, I was blessed to have my brothers have my back. Till this day, they have my back to the fullest. I love them all to death. I hope they're all listening. But they know that, and I'll do anything for them, you know, and I feel that it's vice versa, you know, and that's never changed, and that'll never change. At least on my end, it won't.
That's right. That's what's up. Shout out to your brothers if they're listening. What's up, homies, and everybody out there that's listening tonight, because there's a lot of people listening. I'm sure you got a lot of, you know, people that support you, and a lot of people that support me as well, and they're all tuned in. So I want to thank everybody who's tuning in tonight, listening to this amazing story from my homegirl, Berenice Molina, the Queen Bee, the boss lady. She has a lot of AKAs, you know, but it's all the same, you know. But I want to go to a quick break, and we'll come back. I want to get into your transformation from the gang life and how you got into dealing with the juveniles and doing all the, you know, the job that you do. You know, before, I'm sure that was before from the streets to the set. So I want to get into that part of your life, but I want to go to a quick break. And also I want to do something different, because Bernice had some requests that she wanted, and I've never really done this on this show. I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean? So this is new and it's good, you know what I mean? So she has some requests or some songs she wants to play to represent her familia. So tell us what you want to hear tonight, Bernice. It's all about you.
Well, you know what? I did want something different because I wanted to stick to my roots, and I haven't mentioned this, but, you know, we lost my mother a few years ago. So to me, she meant the world to me. So the songs that I requested are a representation of her and my cultura, you know, because this is what I would listen to on a Saturday morning and a Sunday morning, and I'm sure a lot of people could relate. You know, you bump these songs and you knew your ass about to get up and start cleaning the house, you know. So right. So I'm gonna start with the song that represents my mother to the fullest, which is La Gran Señora by Jenny Rivera, and I'm gonna keep it Spanish, guys, you know, because this is where I come from, and this is what I was raised
That's
on.
Right.
So.
That's right. Hey,
yes, sir.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. Hey, it's the Westside Wednesdays G-Lew Radio Show with my special guest, Miss Molina. You know what I mean, Bernice, Queen Bee, and she wants to dedicate this to her mother. Anybody, again, that wants to tune in, press 1, and you could talk, or you could call 914-803-4001, and we'll be right back.
Tenemos que hablar de mujer a mujer. Hay que dejar unas cosas en claro. Aunque no te guste, tienes que entender. Lo que es mío y no voy a soltarlo. Yo voy a pelear y defender mi honor. Soy su señora y mucho me ha costado. No sé cómo entraste, no sé cuándo fue, no sé qué le diste si te digo es que aquí somos tres. Y este triangulito no me está gustando. Vas a comprender y respetar quién soy. Si no es por las buenas, pues era madrazo. Se necesita más que una cara bonita. Se necesita más que un cuerpo sin estrías. Se necesita más que una mente perdida para ser esta intrusa que de mí se ría. Y aunque estés viviendo en la plena juventud, yo tengo la experiencia y la familia es mía. Me vas a robar lo que yo me gané, aunque seas esa intrusa que se le acomoda. Él no me dejará, pues sabe quién es quién. Soy la que con sus hijos tiene la corona. Vas a resbalarte por otro rincón, porque este es mi hombre y yo su gran señora. No sé cómo entraste, no sé cuándo fue, no sé qué le diste para atarantarlo. Lo que sí te digo es que aquí somos tres. Y este triangulito no me está gustando. Vas a comprender y respetar quién soy. Si no es por las buenas, pues era madrazo. Se necesita más que una cara bonita. Se necesita más que un cuerpo sin estrías. Se necesita más que una mente perdida para ser esta intrusa que de mí se ría. Y aunque estés viviendo en la plena juventud, yo tengo la experiencia y la familia es mía. Me vas a robar lo que yo me gané, aunque seas esa intrusa que se le acomoda. Él no me dejará, pues sabe quién es quién. Soy la que con sus hijos tiene la corona. Vas a resbalarte por otro rincón, porque este es mi hombre y yo su gran señora. Vieja pioja.
Oh, hell yeah, man. It's King Nico right here, live on that G-Lew Show. You already know what time it is. Nothing but love, Esther.
God bless all the listeners, and may the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ be with everybody. Hey, what's up? This is Isaac Pedroza. You're listening to the G-Lew Show. If you want to be blessed, listen in, man, because it's where it's at.
Hey, welcome back to the G-Lew Show Westside Wednesdays, and everybody who just tuned in, yes, you are tuned in to the right station. We're taking a different twist tonight, and the homegirl, my special guest, wanted to hear some special songs, so that's what we're doing. My special guest, once again, Miss Berenice Molina, a.k.a. Boss Lady, the Queen Bee. She has many monikers, but she's back, and we dedicated that to your mother. Once again, may she rest in peace. For the people, listening in, tell us why that song. You told us before, but tell us why that song and some other songs are special to you.
The songs represent my mother. Without her, there would be no me, and these songs are still a piece of her. So therefore, she can't be here physically. At least through the music, she's here spiritually, and deeper message that she taught me with these songs is also take pride, in your culture and your music, and so I grew up bumping these, with her, and so this represents her and and her being here in spirit. So thank you for that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Rest in peace to your mother. Before we continue on, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, 93 Tweed FM Ism every Thursday night on Blog Talk Radio. Also, Kev Mac Videos and Black Box Productions. And we also want to say, once again, rest in peace to the late, great Nipsey Hussle, whose service will be tomorrow. And also the phone lines are open because we have a lot of callers. If you want to speak and ask Berenice anything, you're welcome to join in. Press 1 and we'll bring you in. Again, you can call 914-803-4001 if you're listening online and you want to call in. But Berenice, can you tell us about, we spoke earlier about your past and teenage years, having a child at 15, and how that changed you but didn't change you, and, a lot of other things you went through. Can you tell us, after the transformation and everything, and you're an adult now, what changed in your life that made you, I want to get to when you started, dealing with the advocacy and everything, and dealing with the juveniles and all that. But what led to that?
What led to the advocacy work had a lot to do with the destructive relationship that I was in at one point in my life, thinking that, if I could change a person, then they would change to what I would want them to be, right? So I started going into like these classes and taking my experience and doing motivational speaking in order to motivate who was my partner at the time, and that was destructive in the sense that, drug addict, gang affiliated, in and out the home, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't all bad, that's not what I fell in love with, but that was the majority of my relationship. So therefore, me thinking that I could go into this field and learn more about people with these issues, then I would be able to change him, right? So I took these courses and all this stuff to try to change someone instead of making a difference in anyone else, right? But in the process of me doing that, I started learning more of myself and why I was doing this with other people, and why not focusing on me and what really needed to transform. So in the process, my idea was one, and then, there's a saying that says you want to make God laugh, make plans, right? So my plan was like, hey, as long as I know this, then I could change this person. But it didn't happen that way, so I still started, going down that road, and I started doing substance abuse, right? I'm a certified substance abuse counselor as well. Then I started getting into anger management, because if I knew how to deal with anger, then I would change his anger. So I'm certified in anger management as well. And then.
No, I was going to say, so it's safe to say that, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it was safe to say that you did this for different reasons, like trying to please your mate at the time, but it got you, once you started doing it, you started realizing the deeper angle of it and realizing yourself, and this is something you started liking to do. Is that safe to say?
That's pretty much how it went, and it started with the substance abuse and the anger management, and then eventually it evolved into taking psychology classes and sociology and parenting and domestic violence and everything that I just mentioned. I ended up getting certified in, right? So I'm a multi-certified facilitator. So with that, I started transitioning now into the halls, and the reason I ended up going to the halls, the next person that started showing signs of this destruction was my son, and sad to say, but my son repeated the cycle, and he joined the neighborhood and that his father and myself belonged to. and he was, again, teenagers struggling with identity and trying to relate to one of us, but because my transformation was already in the process, the closest person he could relate to was probably dad, like shoes to fill in. So
Right.
therefore, it led me to know more, about the system and fight more, because now this is my child we're talking about, right? And if I'm gonna fight for someone real hard, it's gonna be for my blood. And I started getting into just meetings at juvenile halls and being part of like the parent workshops and speaking to the youth, and then going to these placements, and then getting work within that realm, and trying to understand not only my child but how broken our youth are, and then having to be a mirror, right? Because even though the healing on my end started, I kept seeing the brokenness that I had in me reflected onto the youth, including my son, and
Right.
and I started, thinking like, well, what the hell? Like, why now, or why this? Like, I'm not in that anymore. Like, his dad, is gone. However it was, but I started developing more of understanding that pretty much when you look at the youth or even adults, right, like in the life, you get to see a different perspective. You see pain, you see trauma, you see the product of the dysfunctional homes, you see the product of the neglect, you see the product of our environment, and when you really start getting into the root of things, you start to understand that everything that the system puts in place as a problem for us actually becomes the solution for some of us, teenagers or even adults, right? And what I mean by that, let me clarify, is people see gangs and they're like, oh, God, gangs, problems, gang members are this, gang members are that, and stereotypes, right? Again, and when you start digging into learning about these groups and these communities, and by communities I mean these hoods, they're full with people that are the most loving, heartfelt individuals that are just full of pain and trauma, and and at that point I made it my mission to use my story and even the story attached with my son to it, to advocate and also teach parents, on being present for their children, and just learning like red flags and being able to show consistency, right? And like, how do you become that person? And that's where it started. I wanted to give back to the community that I took from for so long, and I played a part in damaging, So I started going into the juvenile halls as a parent advocate, and I started kind of schooling some of the moms, right? Like, well, look, this is what you do when you go in front of a judge, and like, don't take a deal, and like, this is how you find a public defender, and then your rights, and it just started growing in that way, and I started working for different nonprofits, and my journey began with the youth, and until this day, fast forward, now I still am in touch with a lot of the youth that are incarcerated and that have been out, and I am still present, when
active.
you do
still active with the youngsters. Right.
Most definitely. I think that, if anyone out there is a part of like children or youth's lives, and, for whatever reason you decide a new career, or your job fired you or whatever, I think there's always an essential way to go back and stay consistent with the youth you touch. We have to keep in mind that within the youth, you have people in and out their lives, all the time, And
right,
so therefore it's like, who's going to stick around and who isn't? And why am I going to trust you? When are you going to be gone? And why do you care so much? You know, because someone showing care and love without expecting anything in return is unheard of in our communities, right? Because if you're too nice, what do you want from me? If you're defending me and you want me to do well, why? What's in it for you?
right.
You know, so my consistency just has shown these guys and girls that there is someone out there, even if it's just me. You know, like it's still me, and that they're not alone. You know, and that's really where I stand today. And the transformation began for me through these kids. You know, they help do something for me that I couldn't do for myself.
Right. That's what's up right there. Before we continue on, because we have a lot to talk about. We're just getting started. You know, I want to thank everybody again who's joining the show right now online, or if you called in. We appreciate the love. We have my special guest. Like she said, she does advocacy work and works with the kids, and started her own company from the streets to the set. We have Miss Molina up in here tonight, Miss Berenice Molina. And before we continue on, let me go to the phone lines. There's some people who's been waiting to speak, so I'm going to bring them in. If that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Caller, hello. Caller, hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Am I in?
Yes, you're in.
Oh, hi.
We hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Maria, and I'm listening to Miss Molina's interview. Miss Molina, I'm honored to listen to your interview, and yes, I admire you very much. And I wish God keep you stronger and successfully in your vision and mission that you are empowering to our communities. I am so proud of you, Miss Molina. Very proud and impressed of you.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Maria.
And I can see your picture, and you are so young. But I'm very proud of you, very, very. Without knowing you in person, I'm very proud of you. All right, thank you to the show that gave you the opportunity, so we can listen to a warrior. How you say warrior? Yeah, because you are fighting for our kids, for our teenagers. Yeah, you are doing a good job for our teenagers, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you
God
very,
bless
very
you,
much.
and thank you guys for the G-Lew Show for the opportunity.
Yes.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you.
Oh,
caller.
and I love your song.
Oh. I'm sorry, I cut her off. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
No, and I love your song. When it came out, it said for your mom, and I was like, ow! It was a nice song. I love it. Okay, thank you. Because I can go on and on and never finish. You're welcome. Bye.
All right, gracias. Okay, let me go to another caller. We have a caller. It's the homie calling out of San Diego. Caller, hello.
What's up, G-Lew?
Hey, what's up? This is the Reverend Ali I'm speaking to.
Oh, yes, sir, man. You know, I'm in here listening to all the good faith that the young lady had. You know what I'm saying? She said she was trying to change some folks, and she realized she couldn't. You know what I'm saying? But when you thought you could, that was your faith that you had that you could. And even though it didn't work out, you still got a sign that you got that good faith up in you. That's why you're still here. So I just want to say that to the sister. Man, I love the song, man. The song was banging, man. I mean, you know, I'm not fluent in Spanish. I know poquito español, you know what I'm saying? But it sounded like the lady was saying, you know, if you're going to do what you say you're going to do, make sure you do it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it sounded like to me. But
that's right.
But, you know, man, I love what you're doing, G-Lew. You always got a channel in for folks to be able to reach out and speak and say something about their life and what they're doing and get some feedback. And back in the days, we didn't have that. And a lot of folks died because they couldn't get that help. They couldn't get that ear to listen. So now, today, 2019, we don't have that no more. We have a way where people can speak out and save just one life, G-Lew. You saved enough. So I love you, man.
Right.
I love you, sister, for calling in and telling your story. Rev Ali is my name. If you ever see me anywhere, tap me on the shoulder. I got a hug for you. And if you need me, I'm there for you, like what they call Zorro.
Well,
That's right.
thank you. Thank you very much. Means a lot.
Much love, Ali. Thank you, homie. Love you, bro.
Mhm.
Hey, let me go to another caller. We have another caller in the queue, 562. You're live with Miss Molina. Hello.
Hello.
Caller, hello, 562. What's up, homie?
Hello. You hear me?
Yeah. What's up, homie?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Betito. What's up, Berenice? I'm right here on the ground working. I can mention exactly where I'm working. I'm at my lunch already passed, but you know what? Man, love to Berenice. I appreciate everything you do for us, and especially for putting up with me. And I know sometimes I got to say no to some jobs, but, you know, I appreciate everything.
Mad love, Betito. Mad love.
Hello?
Thank you, homie. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
you, homie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
bro.
thank you for putting me through, man. I got to get back to work, though.
All right, homie. Peace.
All right, thank you.
All right. That's what's up right there. Nothing but love. We want to thank everybody who called in and had some good words to say for my homegirl, Berenice Molina, the boss lady and all that, man. We appreciate all the love. Anybody else wants to speak, you can press 1 and we'll bring you in if you want to say anything. Also, you can call 914-803-4001. I want to shout out to the homie King Nico out there. What's up, bro? You got a new video out there I want everybody to go check out. Tap into King Nico. That's Neeko. King Nico. He has a new visual out there, so I want to plug that. Much love, homie. And Miss Berenice, now we talked about the transformation, you having the multiple I don't know if it's a degree or multiple degrees in what you do, and now you deal with the youth and all of that. How did we get to from the streets to the set production company that you have? How did we get to that?
So you know what? That was God sent, straight God shot. And at the time, I was working for City Hall for Great Gang Intervention Program, and I had this homeboy of mine, right, reach out to me and say, hey, you know what? There's this lady looking for youngsters, but she wants the real deal, like she don't want no Hollywood fake anything. So right. I can't give that to her because, I don't have that, but I referred her to you. You work with the youth, get them in, plug them in. So it started like that. I made that connection with this lady over the phone, and she said, you know what, it's going to be a one-day job, and it's for the show, right? And can you please get 7 guys? And I said, yeah, no problem. They don't have experience though. They don't have headshots. They don't have all that. So like, you're still okay with that? She said, yes. All they want is authentic looks, right? And I said, no problem. I got that. So I gathered up some of the guys, and they went off to the first time on set. And after the first time that they were on this show, Mr. Billy Bob Thornton happened to be one of the main actors on set that day, and he had nothing but positive feedback with these youngsters, and these men, and he made it known, to production, and then we got a recall, right? And they're like, hey, like they want some more guys, and then the word just got out, like that there was, this person that knew authentic looks and raw talent, and they wanted it more and more, and it got to the point where that became my full-time job, and I quit my job at City Hall, and
wow.
And it was like, okay, now we have this show for 4 days, now we have this movie, now we have this, and I started managing this whole thing, like getting like vouchers ready and permits and for the minors and, tattoo releases and things I had never done in my life because I was not in part of the industry whatsoever. So I learned as the process went, and we started getting more calls and my roster started expanding. It started expanding more, right? So we added more people to the team, and then we landed our first big movie, and then now it was like, hey, but we don't have a gang consultant. Like, we need to make this like legit, like look real. Do you know anybody? Right. And I was looking at him like, yeah, me. I know about the life. I know what it is. And after some questioning and some story, like telling of myself, I got hired on as casting, the background and a gang consultant on set. And from there, I'm just a social person. I believe that anybody you encounter, you learn from. So I just started networking while I was on set and speaking with people and learning more about the business, right? And so to be honest, at the beginning, I faked it till I made it. I was like, yeah, I know how to do that, which I was doing my homework on the side, because one thing that you don't ever want to do in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish is make someone think you don't know how to do it, So therefore you learn, right? And and I was confident enough to say, man, I got this, and we started expanding more, and now we went from the streets to the set, and now it's crazy, like how everyone is a part of this movement, and we're being heard of in different area codes and state lines and international countries and stuff, and we're just making connections, but that's how I landed in the industry. It was a God shot. I didn't apply for it. Wow. I didn't raise my hand for it. I didn't do any of that. Wow. But this is where I'm at, and I'm embracing and I'm loving every inch of it. And with your permission, I do want to take this time though to shout out my guys that started with me since the gate.
Go ahead.
They didn't lose sight. I want to shout out Louis and Cecil, a.k.a. Blackie. He's been my road dog since the beginning, believed in me. Richard Rios, Louis Molina, Mario Molina, Abraham Maldonado, Anthony Cortez, Bouncer, Albert Rosales. That was my starting guys, and until this day they rock with me heavy. And they present and they take pride in what we're doing, and man, I'm honored. If anything, I'm honored to have them on my squad. So big shout out to you guys.
That's what's up. That's what's up right there. Showing love to the people that helped you, get to where you are. That's important. Everybody wants to feel loved and appreciated. So that's what's up right there. Much respect to everybody who was a part of your success. All the homies she named. You know what I mean? What I want to do right now, I want to go to another break, and I want to play some more. I want to play some more of your requests. You know what I mean? Because I'm loving the vibe. You know what I mean? And this is something different, so I'm loving it. I'm sure the audience loves it as well. But we want to go to another song, and also what did I want to say? When we come back, I want to ask you too, or you can tell us before we go to the break. Give us a resume, of some of the shows or productions that you've been a part of since you started your From the Streets to the Set production company.
The first show that we were ever on that I mentioned was Goliath. Then we transitioned on to Snowfall. We've been on Snowfall. We've been on 911. We've been on SWAT.
Snowfall, that's my shit. I asked you because I knew you were part of Snowfall, but that's one of my favorite shows, and I'm waiting on it to come back this summer. But yeah, that's why I wanted you to mention that, because Snowfall is one of my favorites, So to be a part of that, that's big right there, because that's a show that's about to really take off. You know what I mean? So respects to that, being a part of that.
So yes, we've been blessed to be a part of that, and as far as movies go, the Homeboy script, Peppermint, the Kilroy movie, and we have others in store. We did The Cleansing House not so long ago, our first horror movie that we participated in, and my squad rocked that, So again, shout out to those people, Jimmy Valdez, Jennifer Gonzalez, Lecho, Scar. You guys did that, So that was an honor in myself because it stepped out of the realm that we were used to, But
right.
But for sure, that's a few to name on top of like music videos and photo shoots
and
and
those
stuff.
are big. That was a few, but those were big fews. You know what I mean? So, man, much respect to everything you're doing. You're making big moves, and I know it's only bigger things to come. I want to go to the phone line. Somebody else wants to check in, but I want to ask you also. I seen you were at an event for Homeboy Industries. Have you ever worked with them or brother Father Greg in your past, or what's your connection with Homeboy Industries?
Yeah, I started off as a case manager. That's where my journey began. I started as a case manager for undocumented youth, and transitioning out of juvenile hall and prison. So I did that for about a couple of years, and then I transitioned out, but that's still home. That's still a place that I go and I find comfort in the people that are there. And you just have this support and this unity, and yeah, like G never turned his back on myself. Even in my struggles, he always believed, and had faith in what I had to offer and my potential. So I always have mad respect for Homeboy Industries and the people that served a purpose in my life that came from there as well. So
right,
that's my connection, and I go back.
No, go ahead.
I
just want to also Go ahead.
I go back and I recruit like some other guys from there as well, like to be able to put them on set and stuff. So yeah, I still have that connection with them.
That's what's up, and I wanted to also add to that just to tell the audience, people who may not know about Homeboy Industries and all the things that G has done over the years. Like, he's been doing this for a long time, and then now he has the offices right there by downtown. So if you want, tell them a little bit about Homeboy Industries and what they meant to not only you, but a lot of the communities surrounding Los Angeles.
Well, as a lot of people know, it's the biggest gang intervention program in the world, and it helps those people transitioning out from these institutions and juvenile homes and stuff like that, and it helps those that want the help, because there's a saying that G says, right, like this isn't for who needs it, because everyone needs it, but it's there for who wants it, and they have the sources to do that, so they provide tattoo removal, job placement, classes, life skills classes, parenting, like baby and me, like a class for parents, and just other services. They have different components, just the silk screen, the Homeboy Recycling, the Homegirl Cafe, the farmers market. So it's something essential for the community, and something that is that does change lives around for those that are ready to change it. At the end of the day, it starts with the individual, but having that resource there and the people to be able to guide you through that, makes it a smoother transaction, and a transition to different heights that you want to reach, coming from the bottom to go, where you want to go or what your goal is. So they play a huge role in any intervention area of people's lives.
Right. Okay. I just want to give a shout out to Mr. G, because he's been doing this a long time, and he's affected a lot of lives and changed a lot of lives, and he's still doing it to this day. So I just want to, give respects to Mr. Greg and everything that he's done, you know, especially since you've been a part of that. So that's all that was. Before we continue, I want to go to the phone lines. Somebody wants to check in. 562-531. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, my name's Carmen, and I want to shout out and give a big thanks to Berenice from Streets to the Set. I'm one of the youth, part of the team, and from the Streets to the Set, and she's inspired me and opened a door for me and many people. It's brought me many opportunities, and I love being on set with her.
Thank you, Carmen. Much love. Thank you.
Much love. You've definitely changed a lot of things, and you've motivated me in so many ways, and I want to give a big thanks and appreciations to you.
No, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do that in your life. No, thank you.
Mhm.
Aww. Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you.
All righty. Much love and respect. Now, we have some more callers. If you want to speak, press 1 and we'll bring you in. But before we continue on, I want to go to another break and play some music that my guest requested. So, wow, we got a lot of callers checking. Let me go to the phone lines again, then we'll do that. Caller 818, hello. Caller, hello, 818. Okay. Maybe they didn't want to speak, but it's all good. Thank you for checking in. But let's go to another song then. What do you want me to play?
The next song was my mom's song to my brothers, and that was Jefe de Jefes by Tigres del Norte.
Okay. All righty. Let's do that right there. Special request going out to my special guest, Berenice Molina. This is going out to her mother once again, resting in peace, and to her brothers. Westside Wednesdays.
A mí me gustan los corridos porque son los hechos reales de nuestro pueblo. Sí, a mí también me gustan porque en ellos se canta la pura verdad. Pues ponlos pues, órale, ahí va.
Soy el jefe de jefes, señores, me respetan a todos niveles, y mi nombre y mi fotografía nunca van a mirar en papeles, porque a mí el periodista me quiere, y si no mi amistad se la pierde. Muchos pollos que apenas nacieron ya se quieren pelear con el gallo. Si pudieran estar a mi altura, pues tendrían que pasar muchos años, y no pienso dejarles el puesto donde yo me la paso ordenando. Mi trabajo y valor me ha costado manejar los contactos que tengo. Muchos quieren escalar mi altura, no más miro que se van cayendo. Han querido arañar mi corona, los que intentan se han ido muriendo. Yo navego debajo del agua y también sé volar a la altura. Muchos creen que me busca el gobierno, otros dicen que es pura mentira. Desde arriba nomás me divierto, pues me gusta que así se confunda. En las cuentas se lleva una regla, desde el 1 que nunca la vas a tener. Soy el jefe de jefes, señores, y decirlo no es por presunción. Muchos grandes me piden favores porque saben que soy el mejor. Han buscado la sombra del árbol para que no les dé duro el sol.
Hey, yes, you are tuned into the right station. It's Westside Wednesdays, the G-Lew Show with my special guest, my very special guest, Miss Berenice Molina. And that again is dedicated to her mother, resting in peace, and her brothers. Hey, Berenice, we have some callers. Let me go back to the phone line. Some people want to check in. 818 again. Hello, 818-554. Hello. Hello. 818. Caller. Hello. Okay. Going once, going twice. All right. 323. Let me see. Hold up. Okay. People don't want to talk. If you press 1, we'll bring you in. Once again, if you press 1, we will bring you into the show. If you want to speak, press 1. If you want to call in, once again, it's 914-803-4001. 818, hello. Hey, what's up, homie?
Hey, what's up, homie? My name's Joker. I'm from Pacoima. Just want to give a shout out to Berenice for giving me an opportunity to be a part of her cast, you know. She changed my life, and I wanted to say thank you again, Berenice.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And, man, I didn't do anything. You did that. You know, you changed that.
Well, you know, I still got to give her, you know, shout out to you for, you know, giving me a part of, letting me be a part of this, you know. And I just want to say thank you again. Wish you on your success, too, you know.
Thank you very much. Much love to you, Joker.
Hey.
Thank you.
Hey, much love, Joker. Much love, homeboy. Shout out to Pacoima.
Appreciate it, Dougie.
Yeah, all day.
Thank you, homie.
Much love, homie.
Much love, Dougie.
Much love, homie. That part. Hey, shout out to the homie Joker again. Let me go to another caller, 323-427. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I just wanted to say, oh, by the way, this is Jennifer Gonzalez speaking. And then I wanted to
Jennifer.
say thank you to Berenice for always, like, giving me the best advice whenever I have anything to talk about, even if it has nothing to do with, like, from the streets to sets. You know what I mean? She always has her word, and she'll always have her heart out there for you, no matter what. And I want to say thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, Jen. Thank you for letting me in your space, you know, and I got you. Whatever I can, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what's up. Thank you, Jennifer, for calling in and showing love to Berenice.
Thank you for bringing her out here. It's great to hear her story.
Yeah, it's my honor. It's my honor. But thank you again. Much love, Jennifer.
Okay, bye.
All righty. Hey, man. Hey, it's all love tonight. Everybody is calling in and showing love to Miss Berenice, boss lady, Queen Bee. You know, we appreciate it, you know, over here on the G-Lew Show. It's an honor to have you as my guest tonight because, you know, your story is just incredible. And then not only that, like, I'm playing some good music and everything. You know what I mean? It's like it's all love tonight. I thank you again. Thank you, Berenice.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got some more callers. I'm gonna go back to the wait. Hold on. Caller 562-846. Hello.
Hi, this is Hanalei from Long Beach. I just wanted to give
LBC.
a big old shout out. Yep, woo. West Coast Wednesday, baby.
That
What's
part.
up, Booski? I just wanted to, you know, thank you for all that you do. I'm at work right now, but you know, I had to sneak away just to kind of, you know, I'm so proud of you of everything. I mean, with everything that you've done from the whole casting crew, from the streets to the set, from going through just everything in life. And I know Berenice personally. I just want to I just wanted to tell you I'm so proud. I can't show you enough, but I just wanted to let you know I'm proud of you, mamas. I am so proud of you, and I continue to pray and wish many more blessed years to come and many more opportunities to come your way, and for all those who are trying to make it out the streets. I gotta go, you guys. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Booski.
Thank you. God bless. Shout out to the LBC. LBC. Much
That's
love,
my Booski right there.
What's up, Boo? What's up, Booski? Thank you again.
Yes.
Much love. Okay, much love. Hey, we're gonna take a break right quick and come right back and talk some more to my special guest Berenice Molina. You know, from the streets to the set, man. Let me do this one for my homeboy King Nico, man, in Spanish. It's Westside Wednesdays, the G-Lew Show. Cubo.
Negrito es el vato. Fumo lumbre como diablo, pero cuido como santo. Hella bitches, I'm the Sancho. A nigga tell her from the jump, but they still claim my mano. Feria tengo como banco. No discuto, no soy gacho, pero no soy manso. Medicina en mi vaso. Mi vida es real, lo vivo como canto. Si no le gustan, cambie la estación. Lo agarro como agarro sin tener una razón. Dámelo, 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 más, dámelo. Si no le gustan, cambie la estación. Lo gano como majo, soy yo, no tengo patrón. Dámelo, 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 más, dámelo. Me muevo como jefe, cuete caliente. Habla mal de mí, nunca en mi frente. Todas las morras de mi vida están calientes. Marihuana y tequila es mi ambiente. Ay, lo que dicen. Almohada en la cara pa' que grite. Ay, vatos tristes. Porque si vaina si me quiere no es chiste. La manera que yo soy le gustan dice. No hay pregunta de esto pero la pise. Hay un chungo de pistas que dicen. Voy a ser grande como Visa. Mi música habla explotar como se limita. Este de Los Ángeles activo es mi vida. Mi tiempo vale pera, no me ven sin una cita. Tiro palomas en el aire pa' mi abuelita. Me oyen de lejos, me huelen de lejos. Fumo mota en mi carro, es mi derecho. Me vale ver la jura o su perro, aunque estén en mi espejo. Si no le gustan, cambie la estación. Lo agarro como agarro sin tener una razón. Dámelo, 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 más, dámelo. Si no le gustan, cambie la estación. Lo gano como majo, soy yo, no tengo patrón. Dámelo, 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 más, dámelo. Es mi vida loca, yo lo decido. En el club o en la pinta yo estoy chido. Canto, tomo, fumo, eso es mi vicio. Les cambio las mentes, amoras como vino. Sí, yo lo hago. Cuando tire balazos ponte bajo. Sí, tengo yesca en mis frascos. Me paseo en Mustangs como charro. No me importa la chota o lo que pasa. Tu marca, tu pinche placa no vale nada. Voy a subir de una a otra es mi palabra. Copas para arriba, brindis pa' mi raza. Y si no saben, pues espérense. Los que dicen que son amigos desaparecen. Yo no cambio porque mi sangre no es falsa. Aunque tenga lana, encuéntrenme en la plaza. Negrito es el vato. Fumo lumbre como diablo, pero cuido como santo. Hella bitches, I'm the Sancho. A nigga tell her from the jump, but they still claim my mano. Feria tengo como banco. No discuto, no soy gacho, pero no soy manso. Medicina en mi vaso. Mi vida es real, lo vivo como canto.
What's up, y'all? It is the Poetess, and you are tuned in to the G-Lew Show Westside Wednesdays.
Hey, you're back live at the G-Lew Show Westside Wednesdays, April 10, 2019, with my special guest, the boss lady, the queen bee, Miss Berenice Molina. From the streets to the set, homie. You know what I mean? It's all love tonight. Berenice, before we continue, let me go to the phone lines. We got a lot of people. They wanna talk to you, so we got to do that. Call her hello 323. Call her hello 323-705. Hey, what's up?
Oh, that's me. Hey, what's up, Berenice? It's Samara. Long time speak.
Just congratulating you on your hard work, and keep it up. Keep up the good work. Me and Betsy, we just stay rooting for you. We look up to you. You're a strong, independent woman, and we just, we're just.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you, girls. Xiomara, Betsy, love you guys.
No problem. Moving up, girl, moving up. Have a good one.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Thanks, homegirl. Thanks. Thank you for calling in. Much love. Anybody else? We got some more callers. Anybody else wants to speak? Press 1 and we'll bring you in to the show. We have Berenice Molina in here, and from the streets to the set. Now that you've had your company going on, you have success, and things are building. What's in the future for from the streets to the set?
Oh man, you know what? We've recently partnered up with a clothing line that will be promoted and being placed, and they're going to be having my cast, my team, be these the models for this clothing line. So you don't see the usual like hood look or anything when we talk fashion or runway or whatever, right? So so this would be different, and I thank my Clothing for giving us that opportunity, and we're going to be working with them. We have an upcoming event that I'm going to go and speak and do as far as create our own From the Streets to the Set team out in Chicago. Shout out to these guys out there doing their thing. Official Hoodlum, that's one of my guys out there. Shout out to you, making the connection out there. He's going to be opening our home to us in May, and we're going to go out there and rep From the Streets to the Set and create a team out there. And we have a couple of scripts in the making to be able to cast featured roles with these guys, not just background, but actual speaking roles. And we created this dream team as well within Richard Cabral and the Homie to Homie movement. And what we're doing with that is we're writing our own content, directing, producing, and casting our own content. I think it's about time we do that because we tend to give our stories to other people, and we decide for them to cast the people without having real people that have been through these situations, right? So the goal for From the Streets to the Set is to be able to cast and star in our own stories, not only write them, direct them, produce them, but we got to play in them. We tend to sell ourselves short and not see our worth, and we always keep saying we're the minority. Man, in reality, we're the majority, and it's about time we embrace that.
That's right.
And
that's right.
And we're going to put in work so we leave our mark, because what better way than a healthy way to tell your story, right, and impact, a social, cultural impact. That's really what my goal and my vision is, because I myself, I think I speak for everyone in the industry that is brown or black. We tend not to be heard, seen, and man, we have a lot to offer. We have a lot to say. We have a lot to offer. We have a lot to give, and we have a whole lot of skill sets and talents. And the future for From the Streets to the Set is we're leaving our mark internationally, from state to state. Like I'm claiming it. I'm calling it into existence. I believe in it. I believe in my squad. I believe in my team that we're gonna be able to do all that. So we'll be hitting Chicago and hopefully make a connection in Miami also in May. That's happening both in May, and we've been reached out by a couple people out in New York and New Jersey. So hopefully go and establish something out there from the streets to the set.
Wow.
And hopefully in May, if everything goes good in Chicago, I'm supposed to do a sit down with Fred Chairman, which is one of the speakers like for the Black Panthers, and we're gonna see how we collab, the movement, and see how we could do these things together. But there's so much things in store, and I always tell my team I like to make moves in silence, because if you rattle too much, you got people that will try to stand in the way of things, but we're not focused on that. We're gonna go and thrive and rise and take over. Like that's the goal, to see more of our people on screen. That's really where we're heading.
Right, man. I just want to say, Berenice, like, I've gained so much respect. I already have respect for you, but I've gained so much respect listening to your story and what you stand for. Like even right now, what you're speaking on, how you want to, change the dialogue and change the perception and change how things are made. Because a lot of times, like you said, they're made. We give the stories and we don't understand the importance and how much we are valued and how much we mean to these stories and everything. So to change the dialogue and change how things are done, now that you have your production company, you can make these things happen. Like I said, that makes me respect you even more and everything that you stand for. And I wanted to ask you, you spoke on that, like you just said, you want to start directing and producing and everything. So that's what I wanted to ask you. Do you see from the streets to the set, like doing your own independent films or shows or things that you cast, direct, and produce all yourself from your umbrella of from the streets to the set?
That's the ultimate goal. And for now, taking it a step at a time, we have formed, like I said, the Dream Team, right? The Homie to Homie movement, and we already have photographers, directors, writers, filmmakers, and me casting and management. So that's in the works, and hopefully, I'm gonna say hopefully, man. Like it's gonna happen, and it's gonna show that the dedication of these people that are supporting this, So to answer that, yes, most definitely, that's the direction that we're trying to make. Like Hulu, Netflix, and stuff like that. Like we need to create something like that, tell our own stories, So and that's the goal, and that's where we will rise to be, by God's grace and His will. We're gonna make it happen.
That's right. That's right.
So.
And that's right. And I also want to commend you on making the connection to Chicago. And I know not only when I say this, because it's a lot of things going on in Chicago, like that's like the new LA, where it's a lot of gang violence and a lot of homicides and a lot of youth. Chicago is definitely a melting pot for destruction right now. So that's a good connection, and it's I know the connection is a big Latino population in Chicago, as well as Miami, New Jersey, New York, and all the places that you spoke on. And it's a gang problem, So I'm glad you could make the connection with those different communities. And I know, like even in New York, it's Latino period, but it's more Puerto Ricans and things of that nature, and it's not that in LA. Can you break down how that came together and how you plan on connecting with the different Latinos and people in the community period on gangs and everything they have going on from Chicago to Miami to New Jersey, New York?
You know what? The connection, how it initially started, is a couple of homies that follow me on Instagram, right? And they reached out and they spoke on their issues out there, not only in the entertainment business, but like you mentioned, the youth and systematic, like the broken systematic place. And you know what, when this individual reached out to me, this homie reached out to me and said, hey, like, we're having this rally out in Chicago because, they're bringing out of town talent when we have talent in town, and we're not, again, product of not being seen or heard. So when they made that connection and they supported everything that I'm doing on this end, I said, hey, look, like, if I could make it out there, like, I've never been to Chicago. That's my truth, right? Like, where am I going to stay? Like, who am I going to ask for? Like, what am I doing? And these homies, like, they, this particular homeboy in itself, he said, you know what, like, I'm opening up my home to you. Like, you're welcome to come and I'll chaperone you around and, and stuff like that. So just making these connections, and man, like, social media is so powerful, it's crazy, right?
Right.
So, like, for him to make that connection and say, hey, like, we want you to come and speak, or even, how can we do it to start something like that over here? I took it as in, like, man, that another God shot and saying, you know what, I gotta make it out there. So May 3rd to the 5th, catch us in Chicago. I'm taking my little sister with me, and we're gonna go and make history, start something out there, with these homies, and see how we could get more of these youth and this type of population on screen, even over there, and that's how it's gonna be transmitted, like, from state to state, like making a connection with someone, because eventually the goal is to have a rep in each state that represents from the streets to the set. So obviously I can't be in all 50 states, you know what I'm saying, all at once, but at least to have something established and say, hey, when production calls and say, hey, man, we're going to Chicago, you got somebody over there or whatever, and I just be like, most definitely, hold on. And then I make that call, make that connection, and, whoever's going to be in the front line over there, it'll be like, gather up, the guys or the females or whatever, like, go on set, this is what's expected. So hopefully that's how it works out, and that's how we're making the connections. And I had someone even reach out that is from Atlanta, and they were talking about the issue over there with gangs and stuff. And the thing is that, if we see a broad perspective, we have those issues everywhere. And I think that I can't go and teach something I would do in L.A. with Angelinos to Atlanta or to Chicago, because it's a different cultural dynamic, even though we suffer from the same traumas and the same crises and stuff. But if I'm able to just transfer out some knowledge of what works, somehow just connecting to the next human being and humanizing the way I do things out here, and then put it into play everywhere I go, then it'll be more of like we're on the same mission. Of course, respecting everyone's beliefs and everyone's upbringing, but that's, the way to make connections, period, with people is respect and love, and there's a way to say things and address things and make connections, and that's what works. If you show up with an open heart and the right intentions, and you give that respect, then people will follow, and people will listen, and people will act on what they want to see done. So I'm only going over there to share some of my knowledge, and in hopes that we could, strive to build something everywhere we touch down, so that's really what the goal is and how we're going to make that happen.
Right, okay. And speaking of Los Angeles, what do you think about the current, now that you're older and everything, you had a transformation even from your neighborhood and people that you deal with, and seeing the different things that go on and the youngsters come up. What do you think about, because now we have, what came from Los Angeles across the world and across the country, places that you spoke that you're about to visit. What do you think about the current state of Los Angeles and gang culture and where it's at, and from where it's been, and what do you see now? What's going on with the youngsters, and then on top of that, what's going on in the different neighborhoods? You have the gentrification in some neighborhoods and things of that nature. So, what do you think about the overall landscape of Los Angeles right now?
You know what? I'll be quite honest with you. The way gangbanging is today than it was before, it ain't the same. That's a fact.
Right.
It's not the same.
Fact. Fact.
Even with if you think history wise and like generations that have came through that lifestyle, even back then, right? Like the OGs, right? Like would still implement certain values and certain things in the youngsters, no matter what, right? You were doing in the neighborhood and stuff. And we see a lot of lack of that today. Like we have disrespectful teens. We have kids that don't know how to stay quiet and take advice, right? Because they know it all. These youth are running some of these households, and and I think what happens is that our parents are afraid to discipline, and so therefore either they lack it or they're afraid of it, or whatever the situation is, like what happens in a household, right? You have these things that stand in the way of being able to correct the youth, because now you're afraid, right? Like this whole immigration thing, like, oh, what about if he calls the cops and I don't got no papers, I'm deported? What about if the cops get involved in foster care? So, old ways have been replaced by these destructive new ways, and there's no structure, there's no organization, there's nothing, and there's no guidance, even for the people that are already doing that, right? And for even like the youngster that's like they're listening right now or in the halls or whatever, it gets old. It gets old, and it gets tiring. It gets tiring with no peace of mind, no nothing. I mean, and even just outside of the gang perspective, right? Like the gang culture, what we have a crisis in is violence, like, and we see it, like you started off the show with showing, respect to Nipsey and stuff, and to his family and stuff, and may he rest in peace. But that's a prime example, a sad one,
exactly.
that we still have these issues going on in our neighborhoods, our environments, and
right.
And you know what? The sad thing about it is that the truth reality is this happens on a daily basis, and I did like a little clip on my Instagram not so many days ago, and I was saying, it so happens that Nipsey Hussle is a public figure, so we hear about it quicker, and we tend to talk about it more and everything. But man, we got kids dying right now. We got kids in the middle of crossfire. We have kids facing life in prison. We have kids waiting fitness hearings. We have kids hesitating to pull the trigger or not. We have kids, whether do I belong or I don't? Do I got to prove this? So, and this is all a reflection of unhealed trauma, and we keep exposing it into our communities because that's what we know how to do, right? Like you see the patterns, right? So you see the destructive behavior that came with the loss of someone, and then now you have another black man going to prison, right? And now you have the retaliations, like the people that are getting hurt, like while they're trying to pay respect for this individual. And then you have, and it's more violence accumulating, but nobody's talking about the healing component. So how do we deal with healing the community because of a loss of a role model? Or how do we deal with doing, preventing future retaliations? Or how do we and we are so caught up in the whole violence, and they did this and this was that, and okay, but let's talk about the healing component. Where do we go from here? Because we already know this happens on a daily basis.
Right.
But what are we doing? And I believe that a lot of the communities and our own people, they sit there and complain all day long. And I could write a book about everything that's wrong in the community, but I can't write the same amount of books or pages on the solutions that we're coming up to solve these problems. So therefore, instead of focusing on the negative that we've already known existed for years and generations after generations, why don't we start focusing on how do we decrease that and come together as a unit? Because if we could come together as a unit in prison, why the hell can't we not come together out here in the community and then rise together and then we overpower everybody? You know what I'm saying? Because then now we're really out. It's outnumbered. So therefore, gangbanging is the I'm gonna say it's one of the problems, but trauma, unhealed trauma, pain, anger is the root of all things that are causing this destruction within our communities. And man, it doesn't help that we look onto people for help or for safety, right? And now I'm gonna go into, I guess, like law enforcement and stuff, and then we have this also perception, right, like of law enforcement, and then they have a stereotype against us. And so it's like, how do you raise a child or a youth and tell them to feel safe even with the people that are supposed to keep you safe but can't or just won't, So it's a lot of topics that are reaching our kids, our youth, but it's only reaching them, and we're not implementing anything to derail what the cycle is going to do with them, because you know what, you leave a kid out on the street, the streets will raise you, will swallow you, and spit you the hell out when it's done, and but to prevent that, what are we doing to prevent that, So I think, man, like, the things that we see in the streets of LA, it's something that's gone generation after generation, and the difference is that we do have a lot of advocates and people doing the good work out there. I'm not going to knock anybody. I mean, props to everyone that's doing it. But it goes back to the consistency of the work. If you got a person losing sight of the passion of why they got into serving the community or reaching out to the youth because either you're burnt out or because, man, it's not going your way or your expectations are not being met from this client or whatever, then we start losing the sight of the passion that drove us to want to make a difference, and then we just become a problem as well, because now it's a blind spot, where you're just like, well, I did my best, and that's it. Well, it takes more than just your best, It's consistency, and man, I really pray that we are able to, whoever has that ability to be able to speak to our men and our women in our community, to be able to provide that healing space, because there's a lot more of that needs to be done, and it doesn't get talked about, especially within the males, because either that's a sign of weakness or how are you going to ask for help? Like, what the hell, gang members don't do that. Or, like, why are you going to express your feelings? Or why are you going to, and, man, the reality is that that anybody could be a gangster if you teach them how to be one, but not everybody could man up and take care of a family and break the cycle and step out of your comfort zone and go against the grain, but we need more of that, because if not, we have a generation that we're going to keep burying if we don't,
Yep. Man, hey, Bernice, and you said that you were nervous about coming on to the show. Hey, check this out. You come on the show and taught me some things, and I've learned from you, and it's just like, man, I already knew, though. I was like telling you, don't even worry about it, but you came on here and just represented tonight. You know what I mean? Anybody that's listening right now, they got an earful of some real shit, and it's just like coming from the heart, and it's just like you represented tonight, Bernice. For real,
Thank
for real.
You.
And I want to thank you. You thanked me a lot, but I want to thank you for coming on to the show tonight and just giving the story and the knowledge and the history and just the insightfulness that you bring and the positivity, everything. It's just been great, and I just want to get on you because you were like, I'm nervous and wound, and I don't know what to do. Come on, you got this, man. You taught me tonight. You know what I mean? You inspired so many people tonight that listen to this show. So I just want to say that before we continue on. I want to thank you. Just thank you for doing what you do. For real.
Man, I'm honored.
Hey, let me go. Yeah. I'm honored. G-Lew, I'm honored. Let me go to the phone lines. 909. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. What's up, homie? We can hear you.
I just want to say congratulations to you on. It's total mindset of conceive, believe, and achieve, and giving us, those who don't have second chances, the ability and the hope to say, you know what, there is somebody out there that will stop that revolving door and give us some positivity for a new direction to the top. Everybody has a story to tell, and it was, if I had somebody like you when I got out, I wouldn't have been around that revolving door. And like you said, it's your mindset, it's mentality, and then falling back to where you were from. So congratulations, and keep climbing to the top. And I'm a total fan of yours and your ability and the industry that you're in. So God bless you, and keep doing what you're doing. And big ups to you, G-Lew, for having Berenice on your
much
show.
Love, homie. Hey.
All right.
Hey, much love to you,
so
homie.
much.
Let me give a shout out to you. Who is this, homie? Give a shout out, homie. Represent right quick, please, man.
My name is
Go
Frank.
ahead, homie.
I actually relocated from Southern California out here to Illinois, and it's something where I needed to get away mentally, and it's something where I was told, like, friends are like tires. You got to change them every 4 years, because if they're not helping you succeed, then you got to eliminate them because they're going to pull you back. So it's something where just
preach.
Following Berenice on the show and actually her giving me books to read, or not, just giving me the insight and just networking to positive people is actually giving me mental. I'm getting back to doing positive things, and it's something where if you could get them at the youth level, you're going to kill it in the industry in a positive way. You're going to kill it in a positive way with the youth, because they don't have no direction. Exactly what you said. They're running the households, and the parents are afraid, and it's a repeated pattern. So it's something where now people have hope. You probably have a standard in your industry. So now it's saying, hey, if you want to succeed, these are the steps that you're going to follow. So basically you're taking the role, and you're being the boss lady. And with a network like now there is, sky's the limit, because it's beyond that. So congratulations, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Much love, Frank. Thanks, Frank. Much love, homeboy.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, homie. Hey, man, that's the love right there, man. That's the love that we need, and we appreciate it, man. Shout out to the homie Frank in Illinois from SoCal. Shout out to everybody tuning in tonight to the G-Lew Show Westside Wednesdays. My special guest, Berenice Molina, from the streets to the set. Make sure you go follow her right now. If you're listening right now, make sure you go to Instagram right now and go follow the homegirl from the streets to the set, man, and get tapped in with everything that she's doing, everything that she represents. Man, it's so much positivity and everything. Again, I thank you for coming on to the show. Shout out to my homeboy King Nico. What up, homie? And rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle again. We do this in the memory of you, and we hope we can bring some enlightenment and positivity and just help somebody. If we could just help one, it's better than none. So we, if that's what we could do tonight, if we reach one person, we did our job. So shout out to the homegirl Berenice. I want to go to a quick break and then come back and close out the show. But I want to play another request that you have. So, let me know what to play, and I'm gonna do that for you, Berenice.
Okay. So one of the other songs of my mom's, which is her favorite uplifting song, is Sergio el Bailador by Bronco.
Okay. Let me see. thought I had it. Let me see.
You want another one?
Yeah, give me another one.
Okay, you could put which is Besos y Copas by Chayito Valdez.
Okay. We have that. Let me go to that, and we'll come right back after this. Hey, it's Westside Wednesdays with Berenice Molina and the G-Lew Show. We'll be right back after this.
Los bailes no puede faltar un amigo mío que les voy a platicar. A todas las chicas las ha enloquecido, las ha trastornado con su forma de bailar. Las muchachas lindas no quieren bailar, están esperando ser el bailador, porque tiene gracia para moverse con sabor, y a ellas les gusta cómo las mueve el señor. Ya llegó Sergio el bailador, llegó Sergio el bailador. Ya llegó Sergio el bailador, él va a la fama y a San Nicolás. Ya llegó Sergio el bailador, bailar jalao le gusta más. Ya llegó Sergio el bailador, nunca es presumido, es un buen amigo y mete a los bailes botellas de vino. Ese bailador tiene corazón y es enamorado, pero de a montón. Y es enamorado el tipo. A todos los bailes no puede faltar un amigo mío que les voy a platicar. A todas las chicas las ha enloquecido, las ha trastornado con su forma de bailar. Las muchachas lindas no quieren bailar, están esperando a Sergio el bailador, porque tiene gracia para moverse con sabor, y a ellas les gusta cómo las mueve el señor. Ya llegó Sergio el bailador, llegó Sergio el bailador. Ya llegó Sergio el bailador, él va a la fama y a San Nicolás. Ya llegó Sergio el bailador, bailar jalao le gusta más. Ya llegó Sergio el bailador, nunca es presumido, es un buen amigo y mete a los bailes botellas de vino. Ese bailador tiene corazón y es enamorado, pero de a montón.
Hey, it's Westside Wednesdays, the G-Lew Show, with my special guest for the evening, Miss Berenice Molina. We have a couple minutes left. Berenice, before we go, please tell the people anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to speak about, or anything you want the people to know about before we close out the show. Just something important that you want them to know that we didn't touch on.
You know what? I think we touched on a lot of things, and one thing though, you know, that I do wanna speak about and close out with. I keep having these songs played right in memory of my mother and stuff, and a lot of times we fail to appreciate our elders and our ancestors that we have, right? Still in our lives, and you know what? Real talk. When my mom passed away 3 years ago, I'm sorry. It broke me. It broke me to a different level, and person that was my rock, that molded me into who I was, loved me unconditionally, never judged me, advised me, helped me with my children, worked hard like a motherfucker to give us everything. She never complained despite her diabetes, her dialysis, her heart problems. She never ever complained, you know, and the message that I want to give to you all is if you still have your mothers, you still have your grandparents, you still have whoever raised you, embrace them today. Embrace them today. Love them. Show them. Tell them. You know, a lot of my healing, my within myself, the healing component came after losing my mother, and it took that tragedy to see things in a different perspective, and when you learn to live with a pain that strong of the person that's the most important person in your life, everything else becomes a micro bite, right? Like any pain is not permanent. It's only a temporary feeling. Don't take life for granted. Don't take the people that you have in your life today for granted, because tomorrow is never promised. Kids, parents, whoever you have in your life, tell them you love them today, you know, because I don't get to do that with my mother anymore. And this is a real touchy subject with me. Like I mentioned earlier, I was the only sister with a lot of brothers, and a lot of people thought that I was the most affectionate with her, right? But in reality, it was my brothers who were like chicles, were like gums with her, you know. I was more the distant one, and until this day, that's the one thing I do regret, you know, not showing more affection, but that comes with the unsolved and the unhealed trauma as well, right? Because I carried a mask for so long, so therefore showing affection or love wasn't a part of my journey. Today, that's all I want to give, you know. All I want to do is give love, affection, tell my kids, tell my brothers, tell my god kids, tell my homies, my homegirls, everybody, like, how much I love them, you know, because I do, you know, and today I don't have to be proud, you know. I don't have to be like, oh, no, that's weak, you know, nah. Like, I love each and every single person on my squad, on my team, and, you know, before I do end this, I shouted out people that are important to me, but man, you know what, shout out for sure, my brothers, my main ride or die, Louis, you know how I feel about you. Thank you for everything, little bro. Mario, the baby bro, and you know, Miguel, Jose, Alberto. Man, you guys all played a huge part of my life. You still play a huge part of my life. I am honored to be your sister. And man, like, shit, like, family's everything to me, you know. So, I love them. I love them to death. And to my two children, Angel and Janice, mom ain't giving up. She ain't throwing in the towel. She ain't going nowhere. And I do what I do every day for you. I know my daughter's tuning in because she just messaged me. But man, I had to end that with that family love, you know.
It's gonna make me shed tears right now, man. Stop it, Bernice. It's like, hey, man, wow. I mean, I before we continue, I want to say again, I've said this twice, but I want to say again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming out here and giving your story to the people and letting it all out. You were nervous at first, but I'm sure you're fine now because you just reached a whole lot of people and you've changed a whole lot of lives and you've inspired a lot of people coming from a woman's perspective and a Latina perspective. You've done a lot tonight, and I just want to say thank you, you know, for all that you do, all that you've done, and for coming on my show tonight and giving a different perspective. I thank you, you know, and I also wanted to ask you, I wanted to, and this can be can help people out there who probably going through the same thing or haven't gone through it yet. But you know, you spoke on it a little bit, but losing a mother, that's something that's, you know, because, you know, I lost my father probably about 6 or 7 years ago, and it's devastating. But losing a mother, like, we all know that the mother is our heart, you know, and you know, again, can you tell us about how that is, you know, to lose that, and how you move forward after that, and we're able to, you know, keep doing what you do and be there for your brothers, your son, your daughter, you know, everybody, because I'm sure your mother was everything to everybody in your life, you know. So can you speak about that, you know, just briefly, just to, you know, help the others out there who haven't, because I haven't lost my mom yet, and I know if I did, that would just be everything to me. So, you know, can you speak on that again?
Man, you really want to hear me cry? No, I heard you play it out. No, you know what?
I don't want to make you cry, but you know.
No, you know, the reality is this: losing a mother. No one prepares you for that. You know, no one prepares you for that type of pain. Especially, you know, if you had a bond, you know, with your mother, or like if that's, you know, your to go to and your rock. And in our case, it was, you know, and she kept the household together, and she supported us, helped us raise our children, and raise other people's children, and you know, she was the neighborhood mom, and if one ate, everybody ate, you know. So that was just the type of person she was. So losing that, man, I thought I was gonna go on the deep end, you know, when my mom was still with us on dialysis, and her kidneys started failing, and I remember clearly like it was just yesterday, October 7th, 2014. The doctors walked in and told me and her alone that her kidneys had shut down and she only had 2 weeks to live. And I remember I panicked. And I was like, oh, my God, I need to call my brothers, and I need to do this, I need to do that. And she looked at me dead on, and she said, hold on. She's like, sit down. What are you doing? And I was like, well, I had to call my brothers, and, you know, I can't keep this information to myself. And I started crying. Right. And she said, wait a minute. She's like, the doctor told me that. The doctor ain't God. Like, let God do what he does, you know. And after that, God still allowed my mother to be in our lives for 2 more years. You know, the 2 weeks turned into 2 more years. And when you have someone in your life with that amount of faith in them and just striving to do a lot for her children and not showing signs of pain and weakness, man, after you lose that, you have no space, at least for me, you have no space to complain about what comes next. If someone like that, with so much pain and so many health issues that my mom had, still strive to keep going and be alive, the only thing I could think of on a day in and a day out is, how do I honor that? How do I honor her sacrifice? How do I honor her hard work? How do I honor the pain she endured, everything that we put her through? And today, that pain, I've learned to live with it. By the grace of God, a prayer, crying in the shower, you know, yelling into my pillow, writing into my diaries, you know, all these things, and I've learned to live with the pain. But nevertheless, I tell myself, what is it that she would have wanted me to do? You know, what would she be telling me right now? And man, you know, through the years, I've learned that little by little, she molded me into who I am today, to endure and overcome situations like this, including her loss, you know. And today, I am her daughter, you know. So therefore, I will honor her memory by implementing her teachings onto my children that she lives in, my godchildren who she lives in, my brothers, you know, and more importantly, the teaching she left behind within me. You know, I find myself, a lot of people say, I don't want to be like my mother, you know, whatever. But you know what? I find myself a lot of times being just like her, quoting her, talking to people, giving her advice like she would. And you know what? And that's how I deal with it, a day in and day out, because even though she's not physically here with me, every time I run into someone that knew her or quotes her or, hey, remember that song, or a song comes on or my kids say something that grandma used to say or whatever, man, I just know she's still here. You know, she's still here. She's guiding me. And the way I see it is I gained an angel and a guide up there, you know, that's rooting for me. And every time I feel like giving up, I either play her voice that I have on my phone saved, or I talk to her, and I cry and I just ask for that strength, you know, and the only thing that gets me up every morning and not feel some type of way when I do think about her is man, she never complained, so why would I, you know, just get up and get that shit done, like she used to say, you know. So that's what I do today, and mind you, my daughter and myself are the only women left. My grandmother passed 5 months before my mother, so therefore the women in our family have been limited to myself and my daughter. So therefore, you know, we gotta rep that strength and we gotta transmit it, because that's the type of person she was. So you know, if anybody encounters that pain, you know, think about how do you honor that person so their life and their memory could live on through you, through your children, through your grandkids, and that's what gets me thriving every day, you know. So that's how I cope with it.
And that's crazy, because I was about to ask you. You know, you said you just lost your grandmother before your mother. So I was gonna ask you, was there anybody else? And I guess you answered it, but was there anybody else you can confide in, like a aunt or anybody else that can understand your pain, that you can confide in, you know, after the loss of your mother and your grandmother?
You know what? Yes, my tia Yola, she's my tia and my godmother. She lived with my mother for her whole life, you know, and even when my mom got married and came to the U.S. and stuff, she brought my tia, and my tia has been in the household ever since. And till this day, my tia and my godmother, well, she's my tia and my godmother. She lives in the home with me, and man, just talking to her sometimes, she reminds me, you know, like, remember what your mom used to say, or remember this. I still have a you know, that guide and a piece of that, you know, with me, and I'm blessed with that, you know, and I have, you know, I have women in the community that I could you know, reach out to and support me and stuff, but as far as family goes, you know, my godmother would be the one that I would say I go to, you know, so I still have that, you know. But, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to ask that because I knew, you know, it's hard, you know, like you said, you and your daughter are the only ones left, but I know it's, you know, you have to have somebody that you can confide in, and that's good, you know. So shout out to your tia. And in closing, what do you want to say to everybody out there who listens tonight? You know, hopefully they got some enlightenment, some positivity, something that they can take with them, whether they were young or old, because even older people, you know, need something too, because, you know, a lot of older people are lost as well. So in closing, what can you say to everybody that listens to you tonight, what they can take from this and help them in their journey or whatever they have going on, or just what you want people to take from this in general?
You know what? Despite your past, despite your history, your background, if you've done any bad or good, whatever the history, the story is behind the person, you know, you're not limited to your mistakes. You know, there's this thing that I read not so long ago that says you're only a prisoner of your own mind, you know, and whatever situation you were in was, you know, a lesson and not a life sentence, you know. So for those that beat themselves up for shit and you know, deal with guilt and shame and stuff like that, man, whatever you did in your past, that's not who you are today. You have the ability and the capacity within yourself to heal, to forgive yourself, love yourself, strive to what you wanted to be, what you've always wanted to be, and what you could be. You know, I say that because of the population I work with. You know, I tell my guys all the time, like, you're not your past. You know, you are what you develop today, what you want for your future. And man, any goal you have set for yourself, any dream, anything you want to strive, it's not anything you can accomplish. It's not impossible as long as you put your heart to it, your dedication, your commitment. Everything's possible. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not. You know, I'm prime example. You know, like everything I've touched. You know, people told me I ruined my life when I became a teen parent because I joined the gang. I've been arrested. I've been this. I've been that. That I never amount to shit. And I've even had family tell me that. You know what I'm saying? And today, I don't have to do much of talking to prove it. My success and my growth speaks for itself. And sometimes that's the loudest voice you could give somebody, and the biggest revenge on anybody that didn't believe in you is succeeding, growing. Do what you got to do. Strive for what you want to accomplish, and you'll get it done. Don't ever limit yourself. And if you don't have a support system, man, shit, I'm a message away. You got me, you know. So I'm rooting for everybody to strive to be better. For everyone out there, man, don't give up. If you're struggling through something, a loss, addiction, a troubled child, a broken marriage, unhealthy relationship, man, those are all things that have a solution to it. And don't let that sink you. You know, everything is a life lesson. And you know what? I'm going to end with quoting this that I always say. Everything is turn your test into your testimony and your mess into your message. That's it. You know, like simple. Wow. And man, like mad love for all of you guys. And thank you again for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Hey. Berenice, I want to thank you again, you know, just for everything tonight. It was a great show. I'm sure everybody listening, you took something from this, and if you missed anything tonight, we'll have it back up on the same link, Blog Talk Radio, the G-Lew Show. You can listen back to it in about 10 minutes, and we'll also have it on my YouTube channel, the G-Lew Show, the same link on YouTube. And but I want to ask you, because you spoke about before, you said you have so much information you could write a book. Are there any plans for you to write a book in the future? I think it would be a bestseller.
You know what? I have 2 authors that have asked me to do that. But you know what? There's you know, I've kept it 100 in this whole podcast, and I'm not going to end it with not being 100. And the thing is that I think that if I put my story out there and the truth of, like, my upbringing and everything else destructive that happened as a child and everything, I would probably
what you have going on, or what?
No. You know what? Like, I'm all about I'm also like about protecting, you know, like family and like history, and I think like, you know, right. It would cause more damage than good.
It's not the time yet.
It's not the time yet. It really isn't. Yeah. But you know what? I keep journals from like 1995, to be honest with you. So I keep all my stories and everything I've had to write as a child and now, and hopefully, you know, in the future something. But right now, the little that I could share or whatever is what I'm putting out there. And I think that's enough for right now, you know. But in the future, we'll see.
No, that's the perfect answer, because what you're really saying is that I have a lot to tell, but it's not the appropriate time, and I'm still doing things like movies and scripts and shows to where I can present what I have, what I've been through. So it's not the time yet, and you're still young. You're a young lady, so your life is still going on. So you have a lot more to tell on top of what you already have. So just expect the book maybe some years to come. You know, we'll just say that to say the least. And
well,
you know,
definitely.
again, yeah, Bernice, again, I want to thank you. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, and I say this in all sincerity, I had a great time with you, and you taught me a lot, and you know, from the music to the story to everything, and I'm just glad I had you on the show. Shout out to my homeboy King Nico, who made it happen. Much respect to you. I love that homie, man, because he's a good dude, and I have nothing but respect for him, man. I want him to you know, to go all the way to the top, man. So much respect to you and everything, from the streets to the set movement, and you know, everything you got going on. You know, we just appreciate you, and we love you to the fullest, Bernice. You know, for real.
Thank you again. Thank you very much. And you know what? I'm sorry, real quick, this just came to my mind. I think I just want to say one more thing, and that's for everyone out there. For everyone out there, the best thing you could do for the youth is be the person you wish somebody was to you. That's it, man, because that's what's going to break the cycle. You know what was missing in your life, so be that missing component for the next broken youth, you know, and become whole and just love one another, and that shit will do it, you know. So that's all I want to say.
That's what's up. Hey, Bernice, you are a real one, as they say. You know what I mean? And thank you again, for real, man. You know, I had a great time with you, and like I said, anybody out there who called in or showed love, we appreciate you. And you can listen back to the show. It'll be up on the same link in about 15 minutes. Or like I said, go to the YouTube channel, the G-Lew Show. And once again, we want to thank Berenice Molina from the streets to the set. Support that movement and everything she has going on. And we appreciate you and thank you once again from the G-Lew Show, Berenice.
Thank you. Yeah, good night.
All righty. Love you, homie. Hey, and shout out to my homeboy King Nico, who made it happen again, man. Much love to you, bro.
Yes.
And
thank you very much.
Yes. And this is G-Lew Show. Before we close out, I want to say once again, rest in peace to my homeboy Nipsey Hussle, man. He definitely did not deserve to go out the way he did. But one thing we can learn from his death and demise is that, man, if you live a good life, and you not only a good life, but if you came from whatever circumstances you came from and you changed that and made a better person of yourself, man, your legacy will live on forever. And Nipsey Hussle is a great example of that, because the love that he's being shown is just impeccable. You know, not only L.A., we know L.A. loves him, but all over the world. And it's at evidence tomorrow, because his funeral service will be streamed live on BET. So if you got cable and you got BET, check out the service. It'll be live 10 to 12 Pacific, 1 to 3 Eastern time. So show respect and love to Nipsey Hussle, man, because he was definitely a real one and a great inspiration to the youth, man, on how to do it correctly, not ignorant. You know, the homie came back and stayed in his community and gave people a better way. So much respect to Nipsey Hussle, man. Love you, homie. Rest in peace. Shout out to my special guest, Berenice Molina. I love you, homegirl. You're a real one, man. And please do not stop doing what you're doing. We got love for you from the G-Lew Show. Shout out to King Nico as well, and everybody who joined us tonight, man. Peace and love, man. Make a difference in your community. Each one teach one. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. We out.
Make $1 million cash for you flatline. Make a master plan, watch it backfire. Burn it all down and collect the ash. Build it back, respect your passion. Witnessing some shit that you shouldn't see. Whisper to yourself what you wouldn't be. Victim to the block where your mama moved. Now your mind state is I'ma do what I gotta do. It's really quite logical. If you was me, you wouldn't shoot at them if they just shot at you. No trust funds, but my daughter do. First generation out of store with loot. My first record deal probably saved my life. So shout out to my nigga Draws and Johnny Shipe. My road dog doing 12 now. Tryna turn this shit to heaven cause we hellbound. Make $1 million cash for you flatline. Make a master plan, watch it backfire. Burn it all down and collect the ashes. Build it back, respect your passion. Hard for y'all to fathom that we came from that. Sitting in the spot, we was shaving crack. Navy blue chucks, my Mercedes black. Gave it all I got, then it gave it back. 30 niggas grinding on the same street. 1,000 niggas dead from the same beef. Money to be made, but it get risky. Inside job if it look fishy. Niggas playing foul, tryna play it down. Say that they gon' kill him if he stay around. Say that they gon' book him, they just need a witness. Me, I'm tryna make an exit, all this politicking got my mind drifting. Time ticking, death is in the air, I'm tryna bound over my visit. Shit rough, still ride with it. Rhyme different, that's how I did it. You should make $1 million cash for you flatline. Make a master plan, watch it backfire. Burn it all down and collect the ashes. Build it back, respect your passion.